Welcome to Grief, Silver Linings, and Other Shit with Courtney,
and Lynn.
where we are dedicated to healing ourselves, encouraging growth, and giving those without a voice a platform to be heard.
Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy our show.
Now let's get to the next episode. Welcome to Grief, Silver Linings, and Other Shit with Courtney and Lynn. We are here today. Let's start with a disclaimer. There are multiple children in the house today while we record, besides just the dogs. So we're just going to say that thanks for putting up with us. Who knows what's going to happen. So let's just say that off the bat. We are here today with my wonderful girlfriend, Elizabeth, who has requested to be here. And she's going to tell her story. And
along with the kids, we have 2 dogs,
well,
obviously.
the support animals are here as well.
Yes.
But they're usually in the shot. Luckily, our guest today loves them.
I take them home if I could.
Right. So
If you ever want to get rid of them, I'll home them.
Don't tell Tony that.
Oh, I thought I did.
No.
Sorry.
All right. So Elizabeth is going to talk about her life, of course, that's what we do here, and her terrible marriage, and what she's doing to protect herself and better herself, and we're going to talk about warning signs in a bad relationship. So, I mean, I'll let you start if you want.
Thank you. I guess I apologize in advance if I cry.
Oh.
I have a hard time talking.
We've done that too.
Yeah.
It's
She's a
fine.
crier, she's a crier, so it's okay.
My ex-husband is, it's hard to explain because there's a lot more men out there than I thought. Unfortunately, he's very unstable. He's been labeled as a sociopath.
Let's say this too, you are actively hiding, actively.
Yes, I'm
Avoiding.
literally- Yes, yeah. I had to change where we live, my phone number. I have no social media whatsoever. It's not safe. I've had to call white pages, True Finder, anything you could think of. I've pretty much been whitewashed from the internet. If you Google my name, you can't find anything that has anything to do with me, other than people that have the same name but are different.
Or old information that's not current.
Correct.
That's like,
Or old information he knows. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, he,
Now, can I ask a question? Were those things easy for you to do?
no. It was very hard. It was very hard.
To like get a hold of somebody?
Correct. I had to actually, send,
Oh. They might have just eaten that beef. I don't know.
oh, spit it out and I'll grab it,
No, it's fine.
sorry. Okay, I'll go out the other end.
So, I just didn't know if like calling like some of those pages, this is gonna sound like just like them licking. Sorry, the dog's laid next to the microphone, so I figured that it's gonna sound just like licking the whole time. So anyway, so I didn't know if like, that should be a service.
Yeah.
Should be, yeah.
That should be a service that you can sign up for and pay them $50 and they'll call around and freaking whitewash you.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest with you, when everything happened, you know, I asked the prosecutor if I could go into witness protection program. They do not offer that for anybody who's been married, and I think that's bullshit.
I agree.
Oh,
They do not offer the witness protection program
from anybody you're divorced.
for anybody you're divorced from, and that's bullshit. They know everything about you.
That is bad.
Yeah, I mean, him and his ex tried to open up credit cards under my name. I had to put all my credit in Victoria's credit, like I monitor it all the time now because of him.
It's like
Because-
another job. A
Oh,
full-time
it's
job.
horrible. Yeah, and you know what's so hard is to go through everything I went through, and then you have to go back to reality. You go from being a stay-at-home mom who is abused physically, emotionally, and financially every day, and then you have to go back to work like nothing's ever fucking happened.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, like you've got your
That's
PTSD
not-
shell shock.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and every time you apply for a job, they ask, do you have a disability? And PTSD
Yeah,
is
this
literally
one
a
has-
disability. And of course,
Ask your dad.
what's so terrible is that
Go.
with
One.
everything
2,
what
go.
was happening, it was my ex wanted me to reach out to a counselor because he wanted me labeled with PTSD, and he wanted me to make up a story that everything that was happening, he knows I don't lie well at all. He wanted me to say that it was the ex before him.
Which was he was also a piece of shit.
But he was a saint compared to Daniel, and I even told him that. And I don't even care saying his name, because I'm telling you right now, he's fucking sick. I mean, he would take his phone and have it recording and put it in his pocket. And the abuse he was inflicting on us, he would shout out acting like I was doing it to him. And this whole Gabby story, I mean, did Brian and Daniel like grow up being trained the same fucking way? Dan would do the same thing.
Just watching that, please.
I can't even watch it because of the triggers. It's so bad because he was brainwashing her like he brainwashed me. That I was fucked up emotionally because of how I would react to the abuse. Okay? I've had so much therapy.
And I could see you responding like Gabby, crying and just being like a little shaking mess. Like,
Yeah.
I could see you maybe lashing out a little bit if he was trying to hurt you.
Well, trying to break free from his grasp. Like
Right,
when the cops came, because the
Right.
neighbors called, the neighbors in Ionia called because they thought my daughter and I were dead. They called because we only lived there for 4 months.
Because he moved you across the state, trying to get you away from people.
Yeah, and it worked.
But he let her get her hair done.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
I kind
but
of.
that's after it happened.
Right, but I still was
Yeah.
kind of keeping tabs on you, like, before you moved. Like,
Yeah.
you were still coming to me on a regular basis before you moved.
Yeah.
Because you were like, I think that we might be moving, and I was like, ugh,
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to be that far away from people.
He didn't like that I'd come see you. He didn't like that at all. But he felt better than me going to a salon. And I told him, you know, not everyone knows how to cut curly hair. They pretend,
Right,
but they don't.
right.
And
Okay,
I
so
love it.
you move across to Ionia. He secludes you on the other side of the state. You guys have been married how long at that point?
We got married in 2015, and we moved in 2019. And the only reason why we moved is because he went out to, what is it called in St. Clair Shores, 10 and Harper. It used to be,
It's been a couple different. It goes,
Chili peppers.
yeah, it used to be Chili Peppers. Now it's, his friend did that sucker punch and killed that guy in one punch. Yeah, but that's his best friend.
I
That
know.
sick fucking bastard is his best friend here.
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Caught him. Yeah.
he
Kind of, yeah.
has laughed
Aquari.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people who aren't familiar, there was a bar fight. Not even a bar fight. There was a sucker punch
Same here.
on a patron, and the guy ended up dying. And the puncher was friends with her ex.
Yeah, best friends, and he showed me the story. This was a few months after what he did to us.
So you were married. Okay, hold on. About 2015, you were married.
Yeah.
You had your daughter. What year?
2018.
18. Okay. So at this point, you're kind of already secluded. You're already like, he's already got you down. Then you give birth
Yeah.
to a daughter, and that was when you're on this side of town because I saw you like the whole time you were pregnant. And then that's when your like brains flicked on.
Correct. Because
You had a daughter, and your brain like binged.
right,
I feel like from
It did.
knowing you.
to protect, yeah, and that's when he started suffocating us. Is the week after she was born. He physically didn't lay a hand on me until I was pregnant. Physically. But emotionally, he was destroying me. But they're subtle about it. Like at first, he put me on such a pedestal. He told me everything I wanted to hear. Everything I ever wanted in my life, he acted like he was going to make happen because I was the best thing that ever happened to him. He's a fucking compulsive liar. And he'll do anything to get what he wants. And all he wanted to do is fucking use me. That's it. He's incapable of love. When we found out I was pregnant, he completely, he wasn't even happy. As much as he wanted to have a kid, he wasn't happy. And then when he found out that she was a boy at the ultrasound, social services had to come in, and I had to lie and say we were safe to go back home with him because he acted out so badly.
Because it was a girl, not
Because
a
it
boy.
was a girl, not a boy.
Because you did that.
Yeah, even though the man,
Chooses
their
one.
chromosome.
Well, I hope everybody watching knows that it's the man that makes the child of gender.
Yeah.
Right.
I would hope that we're all that evolved. Like,
You never know. Some people just might not know. But yeah, and the whole time when I was going to my visits, I'd have bruises up and down, and I'd have to lie to my doctor and say they were from the dog. I mean, I still have 2 large dogs to this day.
and you don't walk around with
I don't
bruises
have
like
any
you-
bruises on me. And you know what's funny? They're even bigger because Roxy died because of him, or one dog. I had to put her down because of what he did.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Great pit bull. Everyone acts like they're so vicious. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Scarlet here.
There's apparently a.
Elephant upstairs?
No, I was gonna say they're doing an Irish jig. So, okay, so you're pregnant, you have her, he's mad you're having a girl, you moved to Ionia.
Yeah, we moved there. I'm sorry.
No, I'm trying to keep
I
you on
don't mean
track.
to be scatterbrained.
No, I'm trying to keep you on
Yeah.
track. It's
So
my
don't
show,
be-
girl. It's my show. You're my show.
And I love your show.
You're traumatized.
Yeah.
It's my show. I'm trying to keep you on track.
I appreciate it. So we moved
Sorry,
from
our show.
East Point
You're good.
because, okay, wait, let's back up. He beat me up to sell my house in Macomb Township. He
A house
beat
that
me
you
up.
bought with your own money,
Yep.
previous to him,
Yep.
doing your thing,
Correct.
being a normal adult,
Correct.
talks you into getting rid of it.
Oh no, he beat me up. It was the house of my dreams.
Like he beat you up physically?
He beat me up physically. I actually had labor pains. I actually had to go to the hospital because of what he did. And I had to get an ultrasound immediately to make sure that I wasn't going into labor because of the sharp pains. Because he called off work the day I had to sign off the house. And the only reason why he convinced me to sell the house is I had to prove that I didn't cheat on him, and I had to prove that I love him, and I had to put him first. So he wanted to move us to Ohio. That was the first thing. He wanted to move us to Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, which is 3 hours away from where we currently are. And he wanted to start a new life there because supposedly he needed to be away from all his friends that make him cause so much trouble. No, he's the fucking trouble, not his friends.
Well, some of his friends
some
are
of his
trouble
friends,
too.
yes.
Right.
But he takes no accountability for anything. So long story short, Cleveland, Ohio didn't work out. So we had to buy a house in East Point. We went from Macomb Township to East Point. And when we started living there, he wanted me to quit my job. I had to quit my job the second I found out I was pregnant because he didn't want me around other people. He wanted to isolate me even more. I wasn't allowed to talk to my parents or anything.
And what did your parents do to that? Like, were they like, no, I'm coming to see you, too bad?
No, they didn't want me dead.
So they just agreed to it.
Well, they got me a burner phone that was, it's like the old-fashioned phones that open and
flip.
A flip phone. Yeah, they got me a flip phone, and I had to keep it hidden at all times. And it was for emergency.
So one day I went to Meijer, and somebody was there shopping with her dad. He would meet her at Meijer and shop with her so that they were undetected.
And he could see Victoria.
Yeah.
That's the only way they could see
So
her.
he would just push the grocery cart and play with the baby while she grocery shopped.
Yeah.
And I saw her and I was like, Elizabeth! And the look of fucking panic on your dad's face. Like he thought, oh
Shit,
God, we got caught. And she grabbed him and was like, yeah, this is Courtney that cuts my hair. And you saw him relax.
Yeah.
Like he didn't know if I was on
His side.
his side or who I was.
Right.
And he panicked and he physically tightened.
Yeah.
And then when you were like, we're good, he's like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know if you saw it from the angle I saw it
I
from.
didn't, no.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And obviously she hugged me and whatever. We chatted for, like, whatever, but you could see that he was just desperate. Alright, go ahead. So,
So he moved us to East Point.
you're pregnant?
And he can't stay out of trouble to save his life. So the reason why he moved us to Ionia is because he was given a job opportunity a year before. So right after I had her. To rewind, it took me 3 times to divorce him completely. It does.
It takes an average of 5, we learned.
5
5 times
yeah.
to leave.
I thought it was 7.
7?
I actually tried to leave him much more than
Oh,
that.
it was 7. 7.
7.
Much more than that. But, you know, he always used blackmail with those, wait, maybe I shouldn't use that term. He was like, he would use the videos he would create to win me back because he already told me the picture he'd paint if I ever tried to leave him.
So that he could steal the daughter that he didn't want?
Yeah,
and
and the thing is, he'd pawn her on other people. He wouldn't even fucking spend time with her.
Right.
Like, he didn't even give a shit about it. Like, she doesn't even know who he is.
Oh.
I'll show her a picture of him. She doesn't know who the fuck he is.
Good.
Well, that's good. I was gonna say that's actually
Okay, so.
No, it is good. So,
works in your favor.
yeah, so long story short, he moved us to Ionia because he went to that bar and he went with a few friends.
Capone's.
Capone's,
Capone's.
thank you. I was gonna say Chaplin, but it's Capone's.
Yeah.
He was given a drink from the waitress, and she mixed it bad, whatever. So,
And this is after these poor people have witnessed a man die on the floor in their establishment.
actually, this was a few months before.
Oh, okay.
This is a few months before, so that's how fucked up that is. Because if we were over here, he would have been with us that night. So, I know, right? So, he got pissed off at the waitress, called her name, dumped the drink on her chest, and pulled her ponytail back, and told her to fucking fix it. So, he got kicked out of the bar for that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and when he got kicked out, he was so angry that he started jumping on the vehicles out front and punching out their windshield.
Oh my God.
We had to pay that girl $4,000 to keep her mouth shut, because she wanted to press charges again. So the Camaro money,
I wish she had been braver.
yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't know what. Like, he kind of knew her. Like, remember we had that family Facebook? That's why that got shut down, because of what he did.
He also wanted to look like one big happy family. He would parade her and the baby.
Yeah,
Like after
acting
he
like-
did something wrong. Like, no, I'm a family man. I'm a family man.
Yeah.
And you're like, so maybe that girl got a little snowed by that as well. Like,
Right, and the thing is, he wanted to take that down because he didn't want people to recognize his face, but he looks a lot like his brother. And there was a lot of people there that grew up with him, so he wanted to keep it, like, quiet. So he agreed to move to Grand Rapids, and when we met that judge in St. Clair Shores, because, of course, you know, he had to pay for his high-priced lawyer, who always gets him out of fucking trouble. He told the judge, we showed up, I had Victoria, this was like before COVID, okay, so we could go in. they're
This is
talking.
when things were normal.
This was March of 2019. We went in there, and Victoria was getting upset, so I ended up walking out. And the judge says to Daniel, he says, "This is not how a family man acts." Like I know you better than you think I do. Like, he was pissed. He's like, "You have your child here with your wife, trying to pretend you're a family man." I mean, that judge saw right fucking through him.
That was here.
That in St. Clair Shores,
Yeah.
yes. And I was like, why couldn't I use this guy for our fucking divorce?
Right?
Yeah, because the year before I tried divorcing the son of a bitch, but you know,
They didn't
that's a
see
different
through
story.
it, and
No,
she
they
felt,
didn't see. Well,
and-
we didn't see the judge. He made us see the friend of the court bullshit. Those people are completely blinded by that fucking personality. I'm telling you right now.
They should know better.
Oh, no, but you know why? Because Daniel knows how to paint a picture because his ex-girlfriend, Chelsea, is just like him.
he's back with her, isn't he? Or,
He was, I don't know if they're still together because,
he was after he got out of jail.
yeah, he took her,
Oh, jeez.
he took her to the sentencing. And she completely told me off at the sentencing and then tried to play victim. And harassed me. Yeah, and she made a fake Facebook and tried to contact me on Facebook and like,
So he's
friends.
got her all fucking twisted too. And
Well,
she's-
she was
she's-
only married for what, for 30 fucking days? She doesn't even have custody of her 10-year-old. Her 10-year-old lives in Florida with the dad.
Yeah, so she.
But that's how much of a shitter she is. They're just like each other. They're just like each other. They do drugs together. That's what he loved about Chelsea that he hated about me. Because I wouldn't get all fucked up with him. Because honestly, give me a shot and I'm wasted. Like,
But
I
that
don't need
that
to
probably
get...
kept you safe though. Like if you
Right.
guys were
Yeah.
wasted together all the time, it would have been like even.
I would've feel
Even a
safe,
bigger
yeah.
disaster.
No.
No.
All right, so you guys are in
Sorry.
Ionia.
So-
your daughter is how old?
She is 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as soon as we moved there, we stuck out. We bought a brand new house out there.
Well, and the good thing is that he knew a lot of people out there. He did not know people in this county or this area. Like
Correct.
he didn't have any connections. So in him trying to seclude her, he also kind of cut himself off from the old boys club that he can be a part of here.
Correct.
So that he kind of fucked himself.
Yeah.
But okay, so you're there, and she's 18 months.
Yeah. We moved there April 29th, 2019. And the second we got there, everybody else knew each other in the neighborhood. So we stuck out like a sore thumb in our house.
She's up big new house, a beautiful house.
Yeah. And it was right on Circle Street. So we were the center of attention. So as soon as we moved in, he started, playing his games again. He'd always say to me, once this happens, once we have a boy, and once
Look, you said Circle Street. You mean like a cul-de-sac?
it was a cul-de-sac.
And you guys were like the middle house.
We were the middle fucking house.
Okay. He's an idiot.
Center
Go ahead.
stage.
Right?
Go ahead.
Right? So the second we moved in,
You live on a cul-de-sac. You have children, and you care what's going on in your neighborhood. Nobody who doesn't want to be a part of a community moves onto a cul-de-sac. Everybody's in everybody's business on a
Right.
court, on a cul-de-sac, on a dead end. People are like, "This is our street. What are you doing here? Why are
Right.
you?"
yeah, our street name was Timber Ridge Court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm sorry. I
That's
didn't
okay.
realize the layout of where you guys were until
Oh,
you just
yeah.
said that to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
He starts his little bullshit.
he starts his bullshit. He locked me out of the house. He threatened to kill the dog. He threatened to kill us and make it look like a murder-suicide. Because
I would have never believed that shit. I would have never believed it. And
I won't. You know what's so
I
sad?
would still be
As-
stomping around bitching that I didn't believe that shit, just so you know.
to be honest with you, with everything, I mean, the fact that everything that he did to us, and even when I begged him to stop suffocating us, and he would do it to the point where I couldn't even talk, and I'd pass out. He thinks that's the worst that would happen. I could never hurt him. Like, I still can't believe he isn't who he acted like he was.
They're so wildly different that it's hard to even.
I can't wrap my fucking head around it.
How somebody can be that two different people that much.
I swear to God, like, if you see, I don't know if you ever seen the movie, what is it? That guy who plays, like, multiple personalities.
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It's,
But just the
I
fact.
can't remember, but it just, like, that hit so, I couldn't even watch it.
I recently watched a documentary, and it was kind of talking about in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, when the movie Sybil came out. That was a book, and that was about somebody with multiple personalities. And this is like the first time like anybody used it in a defense. So this guy was trying to say he has multiple personalities. It was like this whole, it's like it's on Netflix, it's the whole thing. But like literally two different people living in Dan's head. Like, but here's the thing.
That's
Dan's
schizophrenia.
not multiple personalities.
No, he's not. He's fucking evil.
Because multiple personalities, like, don't know about each other.
Right.
Like, they come in and out. That's a trauma response. That's like when you're being physically raped and you, like, go out of your body to, like, not experience
To
it and you,
handle
like,
it.
watch it. This guy knows.
He knows exactly what he's doing, but he plays dumb.
Yeah.
He always plays dumb. And that's what, I mean, the fact he takes no accountability, he already has his lies made up. His dad raised him to say, deny, deny, deny.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you will have him on, if I had cameras, like, if I wasn't afraid of him finding them, if I would have had cameras, like, secretly installed in my fucking house, he'd be in prison, he'd never get out.
Well, it's
when
scary
the
that he's even out
prosecutor-
now.
No, it is. It is, and honestly, like, he got in trouble. He took a plea deal for us, okay? He had 5 charges against him. And the lies he made up to try to avoid this. Like, him and his dad wanted me to disappear and go up north. And they'd make sure we were taken care of until this blew over. Like, they offered me money to do that. Like, cooperating with the witness? Really? Like, he wanted, he literally had a whole different, he had a story made up about what happened that night, and he wanted me to say it. So,
Okay.
my version would be different than what the neighbors witnessed, and
Okay.
who do you think would be questioned?
Okay, so
Right.
what happened that day? The beginning of the end.
That he got caught.
Yeah.
Okay, so Roxy,
What did
he
you?
got mad. Roxy was my great pit bull. She knew the day I was going to labor with Victoria, you know. She was getting sick, and what happened was, Dan kept her from sleeping with me because he was mad at me. So he hurt her leg, like she tore her ACL, and he didn't allow me to get it fixed. So just like 3 weeks before all this went down, her leg blew up. And I took her in. And he got mad about that. So I took her in. And, like, every week, because something wasn't right, and then she wouldn't get up, she wouldn't go to the bathroom, like, her skin was getting weird, like, she was getting all these spots on her, and she was so sick.
Like, she's sick and
She
dying
was
in our
sick
house.
and
How are you
dying.
even mad at me for taking her to the vet? Like,
We weren't allowed to. I mean, 2 months before this happened, I got septic because he didn't believe I had mastitis. And I was hospitalized for a week and a half.
Oh my god.
And my mom had to come and take care of Victoria because he didn't want the responsibility. And I
wants to cuddle you. She's
Just,
trying to
just
climb.
like Roxy.
She's trying to climb inside.
She reminds me of Roxy so much. I love you, Scarlett. So, 2 months before this happened, I wasn't feeling good. I felt like I was hit by a bus. He thought I was making up lies, and he
Shut her up.
didn't want me to go to the doctors or anything because I had bruises on me. Okay? And I couldn't explain them. He didn't think I'd be able to explain them and not.
Because
you know.
you're not a good liar.
No, and the thing is, I was embarrassed to say it was bad to us because then people look at, like, well, then how do you treat him? Like, honest to God, I treated him so good. Like,
Nobody's gonna look at you like that. You're more likely to get a look of, what the f*** are you
Why are
doing,
you
little
still
girl?
there?
Like, why are you here?
to save my daughter.
No, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
people.
That's-
Yeah.
I could never imagine people would think that way.
No, I wouldn't think. Well,
Oh,
what you
but
do?
he thinks like, they brainwash you to think.
But that's
You're
that's
the
what
fucked
Brian
up
Laundry
one.
was trying
Yeah.
to do with Gabby.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Yeah,
she
like
just,
she had anxiety problems. No, asshole. When you are emotionally, physically abusive to somebody, that's a fucking healthy reaction.
Yeah.
The fact that you're calm and collected, you're the fucked
you know
up
what
one,
ang-
and you're recording it.
Right.
Anxiety literally is fear for the future. Like
It's a-
depression
it's a re-
It's sadness over the past, and anxiety is over the future. Like, I'm
Right.
scared. I have anxiety because you're gonna beat the fuck out of me, or because
Yeah.
what are you gonna say to me?
And you keep convincing me that I'm
Yeah.
mentally unstable because I react to your abuse.
Right.
Like, honest to God, I wish I could go, like, on Oprah or something and just be like, now drop it.
We are
Like-
Oprah.
Yeah, you're better than Oprah.
Thanks.
Because she's racist for touching stuff. Anyway, so.
Side note.
Sorry, side note. Disclaimer, we'll remove that. So anyway, so 2 months before this happened, I told him, I said, look, I don't feel good. Like, I was on my hands and knees. I was so sick. I mean, Victoria broke my glasses because I was trying to play on the floor with her and I couldn't keep my head up. So she took them off me and was playing with them, and I felt too weak to have her not play with them. And I said to Dan, I said, look, I'm going to call an ambulance if you don't drive me. I mean, the closest person to help me was 2 hours away besides him.
Right.
I couldn't just walk up to the neighbor and be like, hey, can you drive me to the emergency room because my husband doesn't believe I'm sick? Yeah, I can't
Right.
come back home to that.
No.
You know, and they're going to think I'm fucked up and unstable. So, long story short, we're in the emergency. He wanted to take me to urgent care. I said, Daniel, I'm too sick to urgent care. Thank God we pulled up and they were fucking closed. It was a Sunday, June of 2019. So, we get to the hospital and I'm immediately admitted
Because you're septic.
because I'm septic. And I was trying to explain what was wrong with me. And he's like, well, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. I think she's making it up. So they tested me for everything. Thank God it wasn't COVID. They blame that.
Right?
Careful, sweetheart. So, yeah, I was hospitalized and he called my mother to come out there. Because, you know, he had to go to work. He didn't go to work. He took the whole week off and just did drugs with his friends from work. And you know what? I have no problem if you do drugs. I don't give a shit. Don't beat me up. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, he was actually really good. Like, I loved him when he was on cocaine. When he was on cocaine, he was so lovable. He was so happy. He was so affectionate. He was so talkative. He was fucking normal. But when he,
How crazy is that?
Like, no. When he's on cocaine, he's like the best person in the world.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, if he could live off cocaine and we could have afforded it, like, we would have been perfect. I mean, he was like me.
That's the craziest shit ever.
No, I swear to God. Like, when
Street drugs made him normal. That is crazy.
No, it's like a fucking chemical that's like imbalance in his mind. I don't even fucking know. So
It's gotta be if Coke makes him. If Coke is the
makes
thing.
him a good person. It makes him a good person. Like he like tells the truth. Like he has these deep conversations with you, and it's like, oh,
He
this is
stares
why I
at the
love you.
stars and talks about his troubles.
Yeah. I mean, and he actually wants to have sex. Like, what the fuck? Do this every day.
Oh,
I mean, I know it's. I mean, how do you explain that? Because people would
It's
always
weird
be
shit.
like, "Is he worse when he's on drugs?" It's like, no, he's better, and they look at me like I'm fucked up.
Alright, so the day off, because we want to.
Okay, so the day of, I'm driving back from the vet with Roxy and Victoria.
And you're just getting
And-
healthier yourself.
And yeah, and I'm just getting better myself. And I left Zeus at home. Now when I leave, I don't keep like leashes or collars on them because I saw. Long story short, I saw like in a magazine that
The dog got hung up and hurt itself.
yeah.
Yeah.
So long story short, I just left them like naked, and when I was almost home. I was on the expressway driving back from Grand Rapids to Ionia, which is like 25 minutes away. I was like halfway there. And he calls, he's like, "Where you at?" Because I could never ask him where he was at. I said, "Oh, I'm almost home. I had to take Roxy to the vet again." Again? What now? What do you got to fucking pay with now? Like, he got angry at me because I didn't know my hospital bill yet. Like, it wasn't, like, you know how you get this is what it could be. This is what we're covering so far. It's still being analyzed.
Or
Right.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and he saw that, and it was like 13 grand. Okay, but it wasn't what we had to pay yet. But he was like,
But your wife was dying.
only because he didn't believe me. To go
Right,
in
no, but
sooner.
like
yeah.
your wife was dying,
Yeah.
and now you're
That's
mad.
a small price to pay
Right.
if you had to pay that.
And God forbid I was taking Roxy to get her leg rechecked out because things still weren't right. Like the swelling went down, but things were still not right. Like she wasn't herself. So I'm explaining this to Dan because he doesn't believe in like well visits for Victoria. He doesn't believe in like well visits for myself. Like nothing.
No
Like,
gynecologist once a year?
no, he doesn't believe in
Teeth
that.
cleaning?
Yeah, he doesn't believe in that.
Okay.
He thinks it's a waste of money.
I mean, I'm all
It's a
for
money
not
maker.
going to the doctor all the time, but you
No,
need-
but for your like to keep your medicine, like so you can still have your medicine.
Get your
Like I
teeth
get
cleaned.
allergy medicine.
get your
to-
cooter checked out once a year.
Yeah, just to like it's just a checkup. It's not like oh I got a hangnail, I gotta go in.
Right.
Like that's how he made it sound, right?
Yeah.
Trust me, I don't want to have to go in, but I want to be able to keep
But
up
there's
my,
some things you need to do yearly.
my birth control, and I want to
Yeah.
keep
I want to have no more of your goddamn
Yeah, no
baby.
shit, like-
Right.
you can't get that unless you're seen.
Right.
So I'm driving back and he's, I'm in the Walgreens drive-through, dropping off Roxy's prescription, and the lady just took the stuff and the speaker's still on and he doesn't know. He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? How much is this bill? Blah 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 blah. And I can't believe you. You're just a fucking waste of money. You and Victoria and the dogs and blah blah blah. You guys, we need to get divorced on paper and live off the fucking state. I'm sick of paying for your health care and blah blah. Like just going off. Yeah, he wanted to get divorced on paper so we could use the state. Because he didn't want to take
Yeah,
care of
I had a fucking job. She's like, I was perfectly content taking
Yeah.
care of myself, hombre.
Yeah, no
Like-
shit. I used to make more than he did until he got his
Right.
license, which he would have never got without me anyway, but
Right.
but he lost that with what he just did. So anyway, long story short, he's explaining all this to me and I'm panicking because I'm thinking he sounds really confident right now. He must be home and where's Zeus? He was very mean to Zeus. Zeus is my other dog. He looks like Rocco, just different color. But he's part pit and part lab. And Dan liked him at first because he was a boy, but since he didn't look like a full pit like Roxy, he wasn't nice to him. And he would always try to get the dogs to fight, and he called him stupid, and fucked up, and retarded like me. I was very protective of dogs because they're my kids too. So I was scared for Zeus, and I couldn't leave. I can't leave Zeus behind.
Rocco,
I'm
no.
Okay.
No, there's no room.
Sorry, honey. You can sit right here. I'll put you. So I'm panicking because Zeus is at home by himself, and he's not comfortable around Dan. Like when Like when he
Animals
was,
know Dan's a piece of shit.
well, the thing is, I really believe from Dan's abuse, that's what caused Zeus's seizures. Because when Zeus first had his seizures, Dan thought I was lying and that he was just cold. And I didn't know the difference. And then I tried taking him to the vet, and he tried running me over with the truck I bought him. Right after
He
we
thinks
got
you're so dumb
married.
you don't know what a shiver
Right after we got married, I bought him a brand new truck, and it was registered under me because he had such a bad record that he got pulled over for just stupid shit. So that whole time he had that truck, it was registered under me, no one bothered me. So another way how they use you. So he went home, he grabbed Zeus. While we're on the phone, he got Zeus's leash, his harness, and his leash. And we had to walk out basement. So, and we got a privacy fence. So he was looking through the crack of the privacy fence. Till I turned that corner to the cul-de-sac. And he threw that gate open so fucking fast so I could see him yank Zeus and run away. And told me that if I don't get my fucking shit together, he's gonna fucking kill him and I'll never see him again. Zeus. So I panic and I pull up and, you know, of course I'm reacting to his manipulation. Okay. All the neighbors are outside singing. And I said, I just started panicking. I'm like, Zeus, don't come back. Please don't hurt him. Please don't hurt him. He's like, you're fucking nuts. You're fucking crazy. You're fucking psycho. Like, he's screaming all. And all the neighbors are outside looking at me. And all I can feel is, how can I convince these people? I'm just trying to protect my dog and my daughter. And I can't live like this. It's like you're constantly in, like, fight or flight response. Constantly. Like, I still feel like that. Like, I still have nightmares of him. Every day. But, you know, he convinced me, it's just like, I'm fucked up. So he ran away into the woods with Zeus. And all the neighbors are coming up. And he's calling me. He said, get them fucking away. Why are you making a scene? Like, he blamed me for that scene. This is the start of the beginning. Okay? I mean, it was horrible. So, I'm explaining to the neighbors what's going on. And at this point, I feel like I look crazy. I look fucked up.
Well, the whole scene's crazy, and you know that.
And I'm so embarrassed. So embarrassed. Because I tried to act like we're okay. Because I don't want to lose my family. You know, I don't want to be divorced. And he knew that. And he pushed it to the limit.
You also didn't want him to take your child.
Because you know what?
Divorce is one thing, but you knew that
To protect your
you needed to take your daughter with you.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, he made it sound like I was using her as a pawn. No, that's what he was doing. Like, everything he accused me of was him. So, that's why I always went back. Because, you know, kids at this age, they don't know the difference. They're just learning how to be loved. They're learning what to accept, what not to accept. Okay? She wasn't old enough to say, Mommy, this is happening. This is happening. Do you honestly think I can live with myself knowing that she could be abused without me protecting her? I mean, he didn't just suffocate me. He would suffocate her.
No, we can't.
But I'm crazy for reacting scared and trying to get her out of his arms. And when I would do that, he'd act like I was the one hurting her.
And that's what ended up happening in front of the neighbor.
Well, in front
Girls,
of the
go
neighbors,
back upstairs for a few more minutes, please.
You're upstairs.
all the way. I can hear you girls talking and I'm recording. Please go upstairs.
In front of the neighbors, he was threatening to kill us.
So he
In the
goes in
dark.
the woods, all the
He
neighbors
goes
are
in the
there.
woods, but he's talking through the speakers of my car.
Oh, because he's still, okay, he's still Bluetoothed into your car. And he doesn't realize it. He thinks he's on the phone. So he's spewing his bullshit and it's coming out of your open car doors
Yeah, because I had Victoria and Roxy.
in the car.
So I kept the windows down. I kept the windows down so I could see them
Right.
while I was trying to not completely panic, but I was trying to see if I could get Zeus.
Did that not save it?
Is it not recording?
No, this one is. I just don't know what happened to that. No, that one is for sure.
So I can keep going. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
So, he took off to the woods, but the whole time he's threatening me. He's telling me what a piece of shit I am. How I need fucking counseling, and I need fucking therapy, and I need drugs. And the only reason why he wanted me on medication is to use against me, and he could take it. He wanted me on Xanax, he wanted me on whatever I could get so he could have it, not me. Because he knows I don't take anything like that. So, he told me if I want to see Zeus alive and get him back, that I have to pick him up on the other side of the street. This is before he suffocated us. Like, this was like a day of hell. Like that, I mean, usually all the holidays were like that. And then, you know, every couple days. I mean, it was to the point he'd wake up and Roxy would come right to my feet and stand right there before he even opened his fucking mouth because she knew he was mad at me. And I didn't even say a word to him that morning. Like, she fucking knew. Like, I don't know if it's a scent or what it was, but Roxy, fucking guardian angel, swear to God, she always alerted me before he did what he did. And I always tried to keep, like, that's why it's like, okay, God, I get it, okay? Like, I asked for your help that night. I've been praying this whole time. But you did have to take her, too. I've already been stripped from being a stay-at-home mom. I had to put Roxy down.
Well,
That same day.
A couple weeks later, when he was kicked out of the house, as much as I was so glad he was kicked out of the house, I was scared. Because if I have to go back to him and no one believes us, what is he going to do to me? What is he going to do to Victoria? What's he going to do to Zeus? We're the last three remaining. I mean, if the dogs could talk, if Victoria could talk, he'd be in fucking prison. But I'm afraid. I mean, no one even knows the half of it. But he knows how to get out of everything.
So did you go and pick him up at the end of your street?
The next street over, on the other side of the woods, there was an older stub on the other side of us. And I had to pick him up, and I just wanted Zeus, and he wouldn't let me just take Zeus, even though he told me he would. I'm getting in the car too. No, I just want Zeus. So eventually, they both came back in the car. I tried to leave without him in it, with Zeus in the car. Because you're scared? He got mad at me for that. I didn't hurt him, I just didn't want him in the car.
okay, so,
So we went to Walgreens to pick up Roxy's prescription.
okay.
And he didn't let me go in alone because I was shooken up, and you could tell. He didn't want me talking or communicating with anybody.
And you don't lie.
So we went to go get the prescription. And he even said, this is the worst person this could happen to, because he wanted me to go on, he wanted to go to trial and me to protect him. So they'd lock me up and take Victoria away. But I'm the perfect person to follow all the rules and get her back. But then I'd have a label on me, and that's what he wanted. So, after Walgreens, we go to a park. And he acts like he's sorry, but he tells me that I need to straighten up, and I need to go to counseling, and I need some fucking therapy, because I can't act like that. And I can't make a scene like that. I'm gonna have to sell the house because of the scene I made. So right before it got dark, we went back home. We left the garage door open. The door was open to the garage from the inside of the house. I mean, nobody was there. But he was afraid to go back because he was afraid that, you know, they called the cops. So what they saw, he didn't even know what they heard. So we get back home. And at this point, the neighbors are on fucking high alert. 'Cause they already know. You know.
Well,
Thank
and
God.
because they could hear him spewing his bullshit from the car.
Yeah, and threatening to kill us.
Go ahead, honey.
Oh, sorry. So
No.
we get back home. And I'm scared to go to sleep. I know it's not done yet. I already know it's not done. So I'm trying to get Victoria to get settled. I'm trying to get Roxy her medicine. I'm trying to get Zeus his medicine. You know, it's seizure medicine. And you know, I can't remember everything. I remember certain points.
Is it like Polaroids, like snapshots?
Yeah, and I know that sounds weird and
No.
it's kind of embarrassing to say
No,
that.
No,
don't be
I think
embarrassed over
but
that.
I think that that's how traumatic events are. I don't think it's you. I don't think it's your memory.
It's just the way your
You
brain
have
protects
certain-
itself.
I feel like I have a really good memory.
No, I feel like when something happens quickly, you just get glimpses of impression. You know what I mean? Because everything's happening so quick.
I just remember he was starting to like brainwash me that how fucked up and how crazy I am.
Right. So you were.
And he took Victoria from me. So I FaceTimed my mom. And I said, Mom, I don't know what to do. I got Victoria and I'm scared. She's like, those are the Collie cops. I'm like, why? Like, he'll get me in trouble. He's like, see how fucking crazy you are? See how fucked up you are? Blah, blah, blah. Like, he was just like, he was so, like, he's so vengeful. He's so evil. Like, I don't know how a person with his, like, the way he is, how he is, like, not in home. Like, honestly, he really thinks that his lies are the truth. 100%. So, I remember FaceTiming my mom, and I just begged him, can I put Victoria to sleep, please? All I wanted to do was put her to sleep. I always put her to sleep. I did everything with her. The only time he would hold her is to keep her away from me and make me react. Because I was scared of what he would do. Well, when you abuse our daughter, yeah, I'm gonna be scared when you take her from me, okay? It's not like you have loving moments with her. Yeah,
Is
I've
she
taken.
little and fragile still at that point? Like.
Oh, not to him. He doesn't think that. He doesn't have that rational thought.
Right. But in your.
Yeah, but
she's
in
not
my
like-
mind, I'm thinking, okay, really? It wouldn't take much to hurt her, like, permanently,
Yeah.
if not kill her. So, I just remember FaceTiming my mom, and I'm pacing, because I'm scared. And he's just berating me. He's just,
being nasty. And that doesn't feel good either, okay? So, I'm explaining to my mom what's going on. And he gets up, I said, okay, can I put her to bed? Fuck no, he takes my hand, and you can see the marks on my house to this day. Well, unless the person that bought it hid it. But he threw it into the wall, and you could see the mark of my phone, and it split in half, and I had a case on it.
Oh my gosh.
He's broken. He's taken my phone and went like this to me in front of my face. Yeah, Brian did the same shit to Gabby, taking her phone. Yeah, it's uncomfortable when you're asking for help and when you're trying to get away from your abuser. If someone takes your phone,
Right.
it's kind of like your safety, right?
Right.
So, he took my phone from me, so I couldn't call for help. I couldn't call my mom. Well, I was too scared to call for help because they put me in handcuffs the way he
Painted the picture.
paints the picture. Mind you, I have no record at all. Nothing. I mean, a failure to yield when I was 16 years old, really?
Right.
Like, he's had a history of physically hurting people before he was 18 years old.
And that's why I think, like, will they really believe it was him? Like,
Oh, like a salesman.
can I tell you that Lisa that worked with you guys, she was never fooled.
Really?
No.
I wish I would have listened to her.
Shout out to Lisa Haddish.
Hi, Lisa.
She worked with
You know
her.
Lisa?
Yeah.
Oh, she knows Lisa.
That's
I love
awesome.
her.
I miss
But
her.
and probably because she had daughters in the age range of you, a little bit younger, but she'd been around the block a time or two. She was married to a cop. Her ex-husband was an undercover narcotics officer.
And he was an asshole to her.
I know, but she had a lot of experience at that time when you were shifting into Dan. So she's in a totally different stage of her life.
Right.
Yeah. She
She-
saw it for what it was.
Yeah. And she was like, "What's your girl doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know why. Should I be worried?" She's like, "Sorry."
If she would have sat down and like really talked to me, it's just
She didn't know it was going to be as bad as it was. She just
No, yeah, I don't
disliked
think so.
them in general. And
because his dad's a fucking asshole. I thought the world of his dad till Dan's true colors were coming out.
right.
His dad's a piece of fucking shit too. Yeah.
All right. So he takes your phone away. He's got Victoria. The garage door's open.
Yeah. So I panic. Okay? When he gets angry and gets violent, I try to leave. For him to settle down.
Right.
Not to leave, divorce him, whatever. I'm trying to be the adult.
Change your space. Yeah.
Okay, just like this is the best example I can give you. When there's a tornado coming, what do? You take cover. You get somewhere safe. Dan's a fucking tornado.
Yeah.
You grab your kids. You keep them safe. You get them a place that's safe, and you talk the tornado down, or you wait till it cools off or goes away.
Right.
That's just fucking common sense. No, I'm playing games. And when I tried to divorce him the second time, he played it off that I was using him as a pawn. Okay, that's the last thing in my fucking mind. He knew I never wanted a divorce. He knew all of that. And he used it to his advantage. So long story short, I'm getting the car ready. It's hot. It's summertime. It's August. Okay, 2019. I help Roxy in the car. I get Zeus in the car, and I keep it running with the air on, windows up, so they don't try to run out of the windows. Because when Dan gets physical, Roxy steps in. Roxy has gotten her dew claw hurt you know, her leg to help protect us from it. Okay, so I'm trying to save her from more damage because I can't figure out what's going on.
Right, she's already not
And
healthy.
she feels, no, and she feels my fear.
But she's also not feeling well.
Correct, yeah, she's sick, yeah. She's only 3.5. So, they're in the car, and the front door's open, because I don't want to be alone with him. Daniel, please give me Victoria. Stop, you're gonna fucking hurt her. He's like screaming.
Because the door's
Screaming
open.
because the door's open. So I walk in the house, and I tell him to just, please, I don't want to fight. I just want to feel safe. So that's when he puts his phone in his pocket. We're in the kitchen now, so you can't see through the front door right now. It's open, but you can't see. We're in the kitchen. He throws the phone in his pocket. And he throws Victoria on my chest. And he grabs my arms like this. Stop fucking hurting me. I had his hand marks on my arms. 2 days later, when the cops took pictures,
As he's screaming, stop fucking hurting me.
and he was hitting himself.
Oh
When he
my
let go
God.
of me, he was hitting himself. No, he'd hit himself and act like I hurt him.
But you would think that an officer would look at you to know what kind of force you could put on a man.
Oh my god. With all my might, I couldn't even fucking stop him.
Right.
Trust me. And the thing is, I don't want to. Like, I just run. Like, I don't hit. I don't try to come back. I run.
It's
You
not
know.
fight or flight, it's flight.
It's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah, like, I don't want to hurt you. Like, you could try to kill me. I won't hurt you. I'll scream to have you stop. But I won't hurt you. Like, I'll try to defend myself, but I won't hurt you to stop you.
right.
I just can't. So,
I'm gonna find her inner anger.
so, I'm scared of these videos, okay? And when I get scared and pace and beg for Victoria, he'll videotape me. Like, I just, like, what makes you think to do that? I mean, when he's angry at me, last thing on my mind is videotaping it.
Right.
Like, I'm, like, the
Well,
really
he used it for a tool. For his,
a
in his finger.
manipulation. Yeah. And a lot of people that do that are the ones causing it. That's what they're starting to find out. So, long story short, sorry, I'm jumping everywhere.
You're
Um,
okay.
Do you want to move the
So-
dog over so you can sit back down?
No, she's sweet. She's a better view to look at. So when all that was happening, and he finally, like, threw her back in my arms, and was telling me to stop, like, fucking screaming, making a scene, like, I don't remember exactly, but it just, he was really angry at me. So that's why he grabbed me like that. And then when I just, like, panicked more and just, I couldn't, like, I didn't know what to say, like, I was just scared. And he-
Frozen.
yeah, I was just frozen. And I remember when he let go, that's when he started, like, slapping himself and, like, punching himself. Because I think he knew what he was doing to me. And I remember I was trying to go past the couch. I don't know why I went, instead of going behind the couch, I don't know if I was grabbing something for Victoria. Like I said, I don't know. I can't remember everything, but the details are so vivid that I still have nightmares of it to this day. when I got in front of the couch, our front door is still open, and you could see. Okay, depending on where you are, you can see. But I remember he pushed me to the ground. I'm holding Victoria with my right hand, and the police report got it wrong, saying that even though I was recorded, they typed it wrong. But whatever. So much for attention to detail. But he got me down like this, and Victoria's chest was against my chest. So I'm right-handed, I'm holding her with my right hand. And he's on top of me.
This is outside or in the living room?
This is
In the living room by the couch.
Okay.
Yeah, in front of the couch. Literally in front of the couch like
Is
this.
the couch facing the front door?
No, it's sideways. So like
Okay,
the
so-
front door would be like right there.
Okay.
Does
You
that
guys
make
almost done
sense?
down there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You guys almost done?
Almost.
And then, so I'm holding Victoria like this, and he's straddling me. And I just remember, I can't use my legs, can't use my right arm. All I have is my left hand. And this is when he started suffocating me. He did it 5 times. So, I don't remember what he was saying, but I just wanted to stop. It wasn't the first time he suffocated me. But I'm holding Victoria. He's getting closer. So his body is between Victoria and I. Each time he suffocated me. 'Cause
She's in between the two of you.
She's in between
Yeah.
the two of us.
Yeah.
Her chest is on my chest. My hand is here. I'm trying to like use my hand as a barrier.
Yeah, pushing back.
Really? He's over 230
I know,
pounds.
but-
Okay, I'm 115. Figure
Right.
it out. So, when I'm like this, I have her, he's straddling me, and all I can think of is, I'm literally praying to God at this point to just save Victoria. Like, I didn't even care about myself. Just save Victoria, please don't hurt her. And my left hand was the only thing I could do from him squishing her on me. Because his whole body weight,
Was pushing
Shoving
you
into
back.
and the more I begged, the longer he begged. So, the look on his face, when I'd beg him to stop, like he got off. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it like fed that rage.
That demon inside.
But what do you say? Like, you don't.
He got off on the fact that you were begging for your life.
That is psychotic. That's scary.
I just remember, like,
I think it's scary that his child is right in between you, the two of
he
you.
doesn't fucking care.
I understand that, but like,
He's using that to make it more intense for him.
Because he knows I'll do anything to protect
right.
him.
Did anybody see into the door? So they're watching, or they heard commotion, I'm sure, and they're probably.
They're the superheroes of this story.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know
The
the story
state
at all.
and the state and the
Yeah,
neighbors
that's-
went after him. I'm not even on. Like, I could show you the paperwork. I didn't do anything.
She didn't have to press the charges. She didn't
I
have to pull
didn't
the
press
trigger.
the charges.
The
Nice.
fucking cul-de-sac neighbor saved her.
So
And
did they
Victoria.
come in the door and get him off of you?
No. They waited 2 days. It was like a day and a half. Because
Oh, they're not as big of heroes as I thought. I'm sorry. I thought that
I
they called the
know.
cops that day, and that, like, I thought they saved you in the moment.
no,
No.
they didn't see us coming or going, so he thought we were dead. They didn't see us coming or going, and he didn't leave the house. Like, he went outside to smoke, but he never left us alone.
Well,
The
and
second
like,
they left us alone, cops and the neighbors came to my front door. Well, they came to my garage door, and I thought it was the water softener guy. And all these cops and
so
neighbors were
so
there.
all the women in the neighborhood, or whoever wasn't leaving the houses, were watching.
Right. No, there was a few men too. one guy was retired. The other guy has like friends that are cops. He said he almost shot him. He wanted to fucking shoot him that night. It's like, well, why didn't you?
Right? Why didn't you come and save me at that point when you were trying to kill us?
Well, they're afraid of their life too.
Yeah, that's true. But
Think
that,
about it.
He also just moved there. They don't fucking know this guy from
what
Yeah, they
Adam.
has or right,
And to be honest with you, they don't know me.
right,
They don't know me either. Yeah, he looks like a problem, but they don't know.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I get it. Living in a situation like that, sometimes when you intervene, you die too. Or, you know what? I'm telling you right now, living through trauma, having survived what we did, is worse than dying. I hate to say that, because I always loved life.
There's a mess to clean up.
But I'm telling you right now, no one believes you when you survive it. Oh, if it was really that bad, you wouldn't be here. Really? How much closer to death do you have to be?
Right?
I'm telling you, I don't remember everything for a reason. Okay? Like, of course, when I was talking to the officers, everything was fresh. Like, Daniel heard the recording, and he called me from that app that you can use a fake number, because he wasn't supposed to talk to me. And he was trying to cover his marks and trying to, like, mold me to what I needed to say to save him. Okay? And he said to me, God, Elizabeth, I heard what you said. God, that was so scary. I just couldn't believe how you made all that up.
Oh my god.
If I was
Do you
gonna,
know how, like, sick? Do you ever have that?
if I was
feeling
gonna
where-
make up a life, I would make up a happy life where you were a fucking good husband and took care of our child and were not a psychopath. If I were gonna make up a life, that's the life I would make up. Not the fact that you suffocate me, you piece of shit.
His brain is demented. There's
He's not fucking right.
no, there's
And this-
something wrong.
And this, so he took a plea deal for a count less than, for, I'm sorry,
What
for
was even
assault,
the deal?
assault less than murder, because I wouldn't go to trial. Honestly, do you see, like, okay,
That's
so the
hard to relive.
prosecutor said to me, you're no different than the sexual assault victims. Because the trauma is so intense.
Okay, well, where's he going with this?
Because he said to me, you already know that picture he's gonna paint. And I told him about the videos. I'm like, unless you put me in the Victoria and I in the witness protection program, I'm not opening my fucking mouth. He couldn't believe, like, I wasn't a drug addict. Like, he couldn't believe that I had my shit together. He couldn't believe that I wasn't the problem until he met me. Because when Dan got in that cop car, she did everything. Blah, blah, blah. These bruises are from the dog. Blah, blah, blah. He just kept spitting out shit. When he met his lawyer, you know the first thing he said to his lawyer? He said to his lawyer, she asked me to settle her down.
Oh my god.
Who the fuck asked you to suffocate them, to settle them down?
I hope the lawyer didn't believe him.
You know what? I sat down with his lawyer before his sentencing, so he knew exactly who I was. And that's the picture he made. I even brought Victoria with me, and no one fucking knew I met with him. Not even my parents at the time, because they called me fucking crazy. Because if it was gonna backfire, I'd just leave and walk away. But god damn it. Like, I'm so sick of people believing the bullshit.
So
Like
you
that
went and
Brian
spoke to
guy.
his lawyer.
Like, yeah, I went to speak to his lawyer, so he knew who he was going against. Like, yes, he was going against the state. Yes, he was
Was
going
that
against the
court
neighbors.
appointed out in Ionia?
No. He used my credit card to pay for his lawyer.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so we have
So-
children running around upstairs.
Yeah, I know. Courtney's hair.
Is this gonna be a two-parter? Do we need to come back and revisit
Yeah, I'm
this?
sorry. What time is it? I'm sorry. I
Oh,
talked
I'm
too much.
fine.
No,
Don't
you're
be
fine.
sorry. This is good.
But I feel like we haven't talked about nearly half of what we need to talk about.
Right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'd love
Stop
a two-parter.
apologizing. No.
So bad.
So bad. She was like this before she was abused. She was overly friendly. She was very. You weren't as much of an apologizer. You were more of a thanker. Thank you so much. Thank you for squeezing me. Like, you made this appointment 8 weeks ago, Elizabeth. I didn't squeeze you in anywhere, honey. This is your appointment. Thanks for showing up to it. Like, I don't want to cut you off,
No,
but
I get
like
it.
I know she needs to get home to kids because
Yeah, I
we're doing
know.
this at night. We'd
Yeah.
love to have you back. You can come back next week. You can
I'd
find a
love to.
babysitter for Victoria,
Yeah.
and we can come back next week. We could get more into
More detail.
the court case,
Yeah.
but we can also start to talk about some of the healing you've done too, like your
Yeah.
therapies and the things you're trying. And
I'm sorry to be so standardized.
No.
Girl.
I can't even imagine
Like, I wish you guys
how
could
my
just
brain
download
would work.
it.
You know what I mean? When you go through a trauma, everything isn't in perfect line. It jumps around just the way it does, the way your
And
brain is.
here's the thing:
Comprehending
you
it.
want to be better.
Oh my
You-
god, yeah.
I mentioned our podcast during your hair appointment. You're like, I want to be on the podcast. I didn't think it's something you wanted to do. Not
Oh,
that
yeah.
you didn't want to do it, but like,
I want to help others.
and
Like,
you're
I really do.
and you're seeking your own healing. So I feel like we should have you back next week.
I'd love to.
See if you can get a sitter.
Yeah.
Since we have them here, because the little ones are getting a haircut. And yeah, I don't want to cut you off. And I know we've been probably taping for over an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Stop apologizing.
I can't
And maybe an hour at least, right?
Right.
stop. Yeah.
So, but it is a school night.
Yeah, work
Um,
night too.
So we're gonna look at the schedule. We'll make sure we can bring you back next week, and we'll have more of Elizabeth
On our part two.
on our part 2.
Thanks,
So,
ladies.
you're
It was a
welcome.
pleasure.
Next time we'll have Kleenex where we can grab it.
Kleenex. Maybe next time we'll just have a little cocktail.
I was just gonna say.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna talk about all of that, and then if anybody has any questions, like on our
Yeah, I'd
page,
love
you
to
can write
answer.
questions. If you think of Elizabeth, if you think of any questions for like Emily that we already had, because you listened to that episode,
Yeah.
like we can open a dialogue up around this if people want to talk about it. If you know of somebody who's being abused and you need advice on, how to speak to them or how to help them, like
Yeah.
this
Like,
whole.
I could give you advice, because trust me, if I followed everything they told me to do, we wouldn't be here.
Did you enjoy the last episode that we had with Emily? And you felt like her advice was worthy, like there, would you have added much to it? That's something we could talk about next week too, if you want to think about
There's
that.
always a way out. You don't want to have to go back. I understand there's always a way to protect your children. I'm telling you, this has to stop. Being killed by them is not the answer. They won't admit to it anyway.
No,
Brian ran from it. That piece of shit Brian guy. You know fucking well he did it.
that's one thing I'm grateful for in our case, is that he didn't run. That we didn't have to see his dumb fucking Chris Watts face on the TV
Oh,
and talking shit.
And he admitted
Oh,
to
yeah,
it right
and you
off
know
the
what's
get-go.
so sad? Yeah.
I'm really grateful in our case that it was admitted to, and we didn't have a manhunt, or God forbid these goddamn families who search for freaking family members for 20 years.
Right? Don't know where they're
They
at.
don't know where they're at, or they know who the frickin' person is that did it, and they can't prove
they
it.
can't prove it.
And they're just
yeah.
living their life,
And you know
right?
what? That Chris Watts guy, Dan is no different. The fact that he tried to accuse his wife of killing his daughters, Mr. Oh, I take pictures with my kid. Really? No different than fucking Dan.
Yeah.
He's the same fucking mentality. And I'm telling you right now, Courtney, your sister was amazing. And her children, I'm telling you, they didn't deserve that. And I'm so sorry.
She
But-
didn't
But
know.
no,
She didn't know, because she wouldn't have stayed.
No.
But
She
if-
wasn't she wasn't scared of him, she wouldn't have stayed in that house. For as much as she struggled with infertility, she would not have kept them babies in that house. I know that for a fact. I live 4 blocks away. I know that for a fucking fact.
But I'm telling you right now, at least they'll never have to feel that trauma. They'll never have to live not being believed. And
I
you know
wish
what?
that he had just offed himself, because she
I-
would have been fine.
I do too, yeah.
She would have been
Because
fine. We had single
They're
mom.
all so beautiful. Inside and out.
It just, I upset
I'm
people.
sorry.
No, I upset people when I say this, but
It doesn't
life
matter.
takes the turns that it's supposed to take, and I know that that sounds cold-hearted, but I believe if she was meant to still be here, she'd still be here.
Yeah.
I can't. That's the only world that I can live in, because if not for me, it fucks me up. If not, right?
Right.
So like,
Right.
I feel like everything's supposed. If it wasn't supposed to be, my husband would have shot that motherfucker. If
Right.
it wasn't supposed to be, she would have absconded with them babies and carried them down the fucking street and ran to my house.
Right.
She would have knocked on any number of neighbors' doors. She could have made it to Will's house in no time flat.
Right.
On the next block
Josh
over.
was right across the street
My
too.
cousin lived across the street, Elizabeth. My cousin and his wife and the kids. There was nothing to do
At that point.
because we all would have done it. So that's where I live on that. Like there's,
Just like Tony said, there are no signs. And look at all the signs. Look at all the signs other people have. And these
but
court systems
hold on, but
don't
there's
want to
also
trust them.
signs in the fact that he did try to kill himself several times.
We
and
didn't
that-
know that was a
Yeah,
sign.
that-
And
was-
that
I
makes you
didn't.
more likely to die. Like me
Yeah.
and
Right.
Lynn, and my sister-in-law Lisa, shout out Lisa Zaney, the 3 of us learned more from the Emily episode than we could have hoped for, and
Yeah.
that we don't know if anybody else gained anything from it, but we feel like it was a success even if one person saw it, because it was me,
Right.
Lisa, and Lynn learned a lot. Like, I didn't realize that my sister was at greater risk because he tried to harm himself.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that that was a thing. You are more likely to be murdered if your spouse is suicidal than if your spouse is not.
And so
It
use
makes
that as a
sense,
tool to get what they want.
Yeah.
I'll just kill myself.
Oh yeah, Dad, after everything happened, yeah, he threatened to kill himself.
Yeah.
He's too fucking selfish. He thinks too highly of himself.
Yeah.
You do the world a favor.
Alright, well, we are having Elizabeth back because this is good for her soul. She needs to pour it off,
Mm-hmm.
and she doesn't have a strong community, which is also what makes you a successful leaver, is having a community as well. You at least need 1 or 2 people to keep you connected
Right.
to life, and we're your people, bitch.
I know.
Alright, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.